What we're getting wrong is that we're allowing these trauma gurus to move between metaphor and actual scientific suggestion without owning up to what they're doing. So if what you're saying is, my parents were Holocaust survivors and they told me stories that really frightened me and I had nightmares about them. And I'm still, I still get upset, really upset. I have these vivid dreams. Of course, I believe that 100%. And you might even say, they raised me really differently. They passed on a lot of anxiety to me. I believe that as well. The question is, were the genetic codes of these people altered? And what they passed down to you, their genetic code was altered by their environment. And then that genetic code was passed on to you and it was imprinted with trauma. That's where we start to get phony. That's when we start to get doubtful. That has not yet been proven. And there's a lot of reason to believe it's not true. For instance, the epigenetic changes we're aware of, okay? Now, from my understanding, and again, I'm a journalist, so of course I had to interview a lot of experts on this who know a lot more than I do, vastly more than I do. But a lot of the evidence comes from things like worms and plants and even some mice, changes that happen based on their environment to their gene expression. That's not genetic code, that's genetic expression. And it may be possible that a traumatic experience can affect genetic expression. I believe that. There's some good evidence with things like famines affecting people. And although, of course, there are a lot of variables there when you have a famine. And a lot of those studies aren't actually epigenetic. They're intrauterine, the talking about changes to the baby. But here's the thing. When we talk about changes based on something horrific parents went through, like let's take the example of a famine, okay? Most of the changes are actually adaptive. They're to help the baby survive. So they might have been born with greater body weight or higher LDL, but you don't usually see changes that make it harder for the genes to survive, harder for the offspring to survive, right? Where they hobble the baby. That hasn't been shown.